It's the night he came home to Mezco. Here's your look at the new Mezco Toys Living Dead Dolls Halloween, Michael Myers. The shape is returned, but this time as a living dead doll. Michael Myers comes included with his trusty knife. For those members of the mob curious as to how tall the living dead doll of Michael Myers stands, this may be of a debatable topic. I could certainly go right to the very top of his mask, but you can see he's got quite the hairstyle. Oh boy, he looks like a young David Hasselhoff. So maybe what we'll do is we'll put it to the very top of that. The entire year's budget of Mezco Toys was put into Michael Myers' hairstyle. Anyways, I digress. According to the readout here on the trusty tape measure, the living dead doll of Michael Myers stands 10.6 inches in height. And that, in centimeters, works out to be 27 exactly. 27 exactly. That would be centimeters, by the way, for the living dead doll version of Michael Myers. Mr. Myers comes included with one accessory, and it's this knife. The sad state, I must say, that this knife is in. It looks like a small Pomeranian, perhaps, has run in and just chewed away at this. I don't have a Pomeranian, mind you, but I can tell you that knife looks disgusting. It also, material-wise, makes me think it was made out of toffee. There's very little kind of keeping everything together on this knife. I mean, it's sad. This is probably one of the worst looking knives I've seen for a Michael Myers release. Oh, Mezco, what are we doing here? This is just terrible. Anyways, I digress. It can fit into his hand. I don't really know what TLC you could possibly give this knife. I wouldn't even say you could heat it. It just, wow. That's apparently the sound of a Pomeranian. I don't have a Pomeranian, so I'm just kind of guessing from memory. Anyways, we'll just put that right down there. We'll just not even talk about it for the rest of this review. Having a look, though, at the 78 Michael Myers. What a fantastic looking living dead doll. But I gotta say, I think, as I mentioned earlier, all the budget was basically put into that hairstyle. That hairstyle is outrageous. It looks like Bash from the Glow series on Netflix. By the way, if you aren't watching Glow, shame on you. Let's have a look at the gandering look at the Michael Myers figure. Look at the hairstyle on this. There is not a bald patch anywhere to be found on this. I mean, you could probably take some product. I probably will be taking some product. And just FYI, I haven't done anything to this figure since getting it out of the box. Obviously, I could go in there and be like Vidal Sassoon and start tailoring this guy's hairstyle. But I wanted to leave it au naturel. As much as it looked as I got it out of the packaging, I want it to continue to look that way as we have a look at the figure itself. So for anybody that was wondering, why don't you just go in and do some tailoring, some mending to the hairstyle? No, I wanted to keep it as outrageous. It looks like John Travolta, a young John Travolta, not John Travolta now. John Travolta now has gone a little weird, and I think he's also bald. Anyways. No, there's definitely no bald happening right here on this particular Myers. The face sculpt is actually quite good. I'm trying my best to take my vision from up here and focus it down here. The mask itself is pretty good, right down to the fact that they've got even the little lines here hinting where the side of the mask would have been peeled off. Cheekbones are actually quite good on it. Of course, you don't see Myers' eyes anywhere. I mean, they're just pitch black recessed pockets of the soul, dark and vacant. The eyebrows are there, not painted in, thank goodness for that. Alien Resurrection. Overall, I like the face. I'm really happy with how it turned out. A little bit of scuff or something's happened on the bridge of the nose. I really don't know what happened there, but for the most part, really happy with how this face turned out, other than just the outrageous sense of how much material did they use to produce this much hair. It's crazy. He is wearing his boiler, a debatable topic as to what color that is. A blue boiler would be the actual correct term. And it does look pretty good. He's got the pockets, he's got a big Velcro seam that you can undo if you want. That's what a living dead doll would look like underneath all of that. Kind of embarrassing, isn't it? Michael Myers wouldn't be as intimidating if this is what his chest looked like. He's got a bit of a tummy there as well. So we'll just do that up. I prefer to have the collar up around Michael's head, but if you wanted to, I mean, the mask does go a fair bit down. I just prefer to have the collar up myself. As we continue our way down, generally quite a clean looking boiler. There's no blood, there's no anything really indicating that Michael has had some strenuous work for the day. I'm sure that's going to be coming a little bit later. As we go a little bit further down, Michael Myers has the boots, which I can't help but feel, I'm reaching off camera here. Yes, in fact, Virginia, there is a Santa Claus. They are the exact same boots. Whose boots are those? Those happen to be the boots of Michael Myers' friend. I don't know. He's the city mouse. He's the country mouse. This was the Friday the 13th, Jason Voorhees Part 2. We just recently had a look at this. Depending, again, where I put this in order on YouTube. It could be months. It could be years apart. But we just recently had a look at this one, so FYI. The boots are exactly the same. The bodies are exactly the same. The fanned out hand on one side, gripping hand on the other side, is again a common carryover for all the molds that they use for the Living Dead dolls, just in case you guys wanted to see some size comparisons. Ironically enough, with Myers' hair of being as high as it seems about the same height as the Sack Jason. So how about that? Go fancy that. For this guy's articulation, somebody wants to see a full review of that one. Like I said, I just reviewed it, or it's just lost in limbo until eventually I post it. For the articulation on Michael Myers, his head is on a ball joint. You can rotate the head all the way around, up, down, left, and right. You can move the arms out. You can move them forward and back. I guess in theory, you could rotate them all the way around. There is going to be some bunching happening of fabric. Maybe you want to avoid a little bit of that if you possibly can. He does have a bit of a swivel happening on the arm, nothing in the waist, legs split out, they go forward and back. He has a swivel on the thigh, nothing in his knee, and just by the virtue of the way that the feet are attached, once again, got these rattling boots that they've attached to his feet, causes a little bit of swivel. But the swivel is misleading, and I certainly don't want to mislead you in this review. They're only rotating because, like I said, they're just loose, and they flop around a little bit. Let's get this knife in his hand, even as the embarrassing state that it may seem, at the very least. I'm sure he could cut something. It would be rather like a jagged cut, like a zigzag cut by the time he gets that knife in there. But at the very least, I would hope it would be sharp. Boy, oh boy. Pomeranian. That's not the sound a Pomeranian makes. I do really like this Michael Myers. A little bit too excessive on the hair, if you ask me. I think they could have toned that down a little bit. If the dial for hair was 1 to 10, I feel like they're really teetering already on 10, and they continue to force it past. It doesn't go any further than 10. You could turn it as tightly and strong as you possibly can. It's not going to go past 10. Even if you write 11 after the 10, it's not going to go any further than that. Should have turned that dial back a little bit there, Mezco. I don't think the hair had to be as grand and mane-like as it actually is on this particular figure. Other than the hair being a little out of control, overall I really do like this Michael Myers Living Dead doll, and will be very looking forward to adding this one on my shelf of Living Dead dolls. Ooh. Just to clarify, by the way, it's not solely a shelf for Living Dead dolls. There's other stuff on there as well. Don't want to mislead anybody, just in case friends are over and they watch this video and they have to recite the fact that I said that I had a shelf exclusively for Living Dead dolls. Clearly, as they would see it in my collection room, it's not just for Living Dead dolls. So I don't want anybody to accuse me of being a fibber face. There's no fibbing of faces happening around here, Jack. I actually do have a friend named Jack, so I can actually say that. What's going on with the hair? I even turned to the back of the box as something a little bit different this time around, so that you can see how it was supposed to look. I suppose with a little bit of mousse, a little bit of hairstyling skills on my part, not so much, I could probably get that hair looking a little bit more reserved. Right now, it's not looking too reserved. It looks like that ill-fated video of David Hasselhoff eating the Wendy's hamburger on the floor. What a disaster that was. And what about a disaster? Let's talk about this knife. What happened with this knife? Beating a dead horse? That's about all you could really do, I think, with this knife. Certainly couldn't stab anybody. You could, but it'd be really jagged cuts. It does look like the dog chewed on it. The material that they used for it probably could have been a little bit denser. A denser plastic, I really do think, could have worked a little bit better for this particular release. Anyways, the hair's a bit of a mess. The knife looks like it's been mangled. But overall, I'm really happy with how this one turned out. I don't know what licensing is for the Halloween franchise and Living Dead dolls. Certainly would love to see future Living Dead dolls with Michael Myers. Maybe the Bleeding Eyes from Part 2. Dick Warlock, Michael Myers, why not? That could work. Let's just tone that hair down a little bit. It's teetering on 10, guys. It's teetering on 10. Have you managed to pick up this one for yourself? Let me know down below in the comment section what you guys think of the Living Dead dolls Halloween Michael Myers. That's a lot of hair. The whole budget was gone. No more future figures from Mezco Toys. They just came back. They just realized the expense report on this particular figure 3 times what they were expecting. That's because you blew all of it on that hair. There was too much of it. If you are new to this channel or a longtime viewer, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Stay tuned because there's going to be a whole lot of videos coming your way. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.